What's up, True Heel Heat? True Heel Heat.
What's up?
True Heel Heat. All hands is on me. Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching True Heel Heat podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Romeo's Twitter for Rated Raw Review, episode 50, Penta, New Era. Reviewing week 2 of the Netflix era of WWE Raw as only we can. And to do that, I am usually joined by my esteemed colleague, the face and the ace of the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, your boy, Mr. Romeo Anthony Cologne. And look at that. I say his name and he appears. I believe in Romeo.
It's a nice ring to it, right? Perfect amount of syllables.
You know,
What's up, buddy?
you know, you were like 30 seconds late because it would have been perfect. Is when I was doing the intro. I was trying to do it, time it well, where I was doing the intro for you, and then you popped up in the backstage, so I could just pop you on. So it was like you were here the whole time, but you were like 30 seconds late.
That's technical difficulties. This damn StreamYard. We love you, StreamYard. Still,
We love you.
Charge a bit too much, but we love you.
Dude, the price increase? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And we don't even charge the team anymore. We just take it out of what we make here. So that's why we need your super chat donations.
Exactly. You guys help pay for these streams to even take place.
Absolutely. We are so serious when we say your super chat donations are the reason that we're able to do this each and every week. We are not playing when we say that. But we appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping the thumbs up on this video. You can share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. We got a bunch of new subscribers in the last week or so, so we appreciate y'all. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't already, check out week 1 of our reviews of the Netflix era of WWE Raw. We gave you a jam-packed episode. That was an overtime episode of Rated Raw Review. It had a special guest and everything.
And you guys gave us jam-packed super chats, which we appreciate.
Exactly. And you also watched the video as well. That was our most watched episode of Rated Raw Review in 5 months. So we appreciate y'all for showing the support all across the board for last week's episode. And let's see if we can continue and make Rated Raw Review so I can add it to the intro. The best Raw review in the land on the wrestling YouTube channels. We already got the best AEW Dynamite review. Might as well add the Raw review as well. Right, Romeo?
Easily.
Absolutely. But yes, we got a lot to discuss. Week 2, Netflix era of WWE Raw. And all I can say is, that's more like it. like I'm honestly, my first thought after watching that show, I was just like, man, I'm gonna need an apology from Top Guy JJ and Romeo because I feel like they were way nicer to that show than it needed to be. We literally criticized that show for 2.5 hours, and then y'all motherfuckers gonna give it a 7 and 7.5 respectively. Like, what? That is not a 7 out of 10 show. That's a middle thumbs in the middle show if you're grading it on the curve of being an infomercial for professional wrestling, and it's a thumbs down if you're grading it as a professional wrestling show. The fact that y'all went thumbs up and gave it 7s and above is absolutely ridiculous. No one in the chat gave it 7 and above. I went back and watched. No one in the chat gave it 7 and above as well. It was me in the chat. We're just like, how horrible of a wrestling show that last week was, and as an infomercial it was barely passable. And then we get last night's show. That's a great infomercial for professional wrestling because it made people that they might have not seen before look cool, look like superstars. They gave you reasons to keep watching, not only next week but in 2 weeks for Saturday night's main event, and in 3 weeks for the Royal Rumble. It presented stars. We had Punk, we had Seth right off the jump. Penta looked like an absolute superstar. Like, it did all the things that last week was supposed to do, or y'all wanted it to do, and it accomplished that, as well as giving us a great professional wrestling weekly show.
Calm down. My grade today will reflect that it was a better show than last week. Okay? Relax.
I want you to be like Dave Meltzer. I want you to be like the fans do to Dave Meltzer. When he gives a match 4 3/4 that should have got 5 stars, you'd be like, watch it again. Watch it again. Watch
now
that
that's
damn
way
show
more serious.
last week.
Watch
that damn show last week again, and then come back and give it a better grade, a more efficient grade. You graded on a curve, and you didn't even say you were grading it on a curve.
That stuff is way more serious than damn star ratings for the matches that live in history. How's Kurt Angle never got a 5-star match? Are you kidding me?
This guy. I'm glad you're watching. So I don't have to put it in the chat twice. Nigga, it was a show. It was a bad show. That's my point. And it's my grade. You gave a bad grade. That's my point.
No. Last week drove you too insane. You specifically drove you too insane.
Yeah, I hated that. I hated that show. And I was actually nicer on it than Jimmy. You should have heard Jimmy.
You sound like you should have gave it a thumbs down.
Yeah, Jimmy did give it a thumbs down. He gave it a 5 out of 10. I went 6.5 because I literally said it when I was giving the score. I was like, I graded it on a curve. I'm grading it as a wrestling infomercial. I don't think it's a thumbs up, even if I grade it on that.
Okay. All right.
But this is more like it. This was a professional wrestling show. All the things that I didn't get last week, I got it this week.
You knew you were gonna get it. When we saw that card, it was like what we said. This is the B show. This is now we get back to things, get back to going the way it's supposed to go.
I still have my issues with this show. It's not a perfect show, but it's just so much better than last week.
No, it's not a perfect show.
It's so much better than last week, though. It's like full 2 grades higher than last week.
All right.
Byron Kidd says Tony Khan is in piss right now. He's fucked. Well, we appreciate that thought. But of course we appreciate y'all. Put your thoughts in the live chat. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you could send a super chat donation like our good brother Will Chisholm, who's always helping us out here on the channel. Thank you so much, Will. He says, my brother asked me, was Penta throwing up gang signs? I said, in some hoods, yeah, LOL. But I'm happy for him. Raw was good. They knew the NFL game was bad.
Triple H was throwing those same gang signs backstage. If you saw, that was funny. I laughed. he's such a mark for Penta. That was funny. Yeah, that game was bad, but I don't think anybody went into it thinking it was going to be bad, but it was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still got like I said, I said it last week when the ratings came out, which they did great last week. Nearly 5 million viewers, live viewers worldwide on Netflix, 2.6 million households in the United States. So really, really strong numbers. But I knew it, and I went online, and I didn't even respond to any of them. But I knew there would be fans that would use that number to be like, you see, people love the show. And I was just like, no, guys, no. The number for last week indicates that WWE did a good job of promoting the show to their fan base. And some people that were outside of the fan base that were casual fans also watch. But when you compare that to like the NFL and other stuff that have done live shows on Netflix, there's a reason why WWE didn't promote the number on last night's show. There's a reason.
True.
Because they usually would. We all know this. If WWE puts out a press release touting numbers, they're going to also say it on the show. There's a reason why they didn't last night. I'm just saying. But thank you so much for the super chat donation, Will. This guy, how offensive. How offensive. I'm a turd now? Because I'm calling you out?
Yeah, I heard someone get called a turd in a while.
I haven't heard someone could be called a turd since Swerve called Ricochet that. But we got Will Chisholm with another super chat donation here. Thank you so much, Will. Starting us off strong. He says, Uncle Dave watching a great women's match. It was great, but it's 4 stars. LOL. I mean, if we're referring to the match last night, I think that's an accurate grade. 4 stars is a great match. That's what it is. And I don't know how a 8-minute match can get above 4 stars. Correct. It would have to be the greatest 8-minute match of all time to be above 4 stars.
Have to be Brock Goldberg. WrestleMania.
Yeah, like it has to be that level of very, very memorable. I think that, and I saw people like you, Will, or I don't know if you're joking, Will, but there was people that were actually serious that were like, "Oh my God, this is a 5-star match," and I'm like, it was 8 minutes. They went full throttle for the 8 minutes, but it was a great 8-minute match. It wasn't a perfect match. Not one of the greatest matches of like that. I'm gonna start doing what Jimmy McAram does to me. When you give something 5 stars, I'm gonna be like, "You're saying this is one of the greatest professional wrestling matches you've ever seen in your life. Are you sure about that?" You gotta ask people that. Like, you're not gonna forget this. You're not gonna forget this tomorrow. You're not like this is kind of the similar conversations that we used to have with me and JJ on the flagship podcast whenever he gave a 5-star match.
Man, a 5-star match, like you should be able to like describe the match without even giving the names, and someone should recognize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, instantly like pops in your head, like a Danielson versus Osprey. To me, Cody versus Roman last year, Drew versus Punk, Swerve versus Bryan last year. 2 years ago, Bryan versus MJF, Omega versus Osprey, both times. Like, those are the type of matches that are like 5-star perfect matches that you're not going to forget. An 8-minute match on TV on a random episode on the second week on Netflix, not even the premiere of Netflix, the second week of Netflix. No, it's not a 5-star match.
Man, you can't take those takes seriously.
We do have our special guest back-to-back weeks. Look at this guy. It's like new year, new him. The resident True Hill alcoholic himself, top guy JJ. How are you doing?
New era.
This motherfucker got me on fucking injury risk right now. Listen, man, if I feel like if
you unload, we've had you on load management for like 3 years. You're like Kawhi Leonard.
Yo, just if I look a little funky while saying some words, because I like my whole bottom part of my mouth is like numb. I just needed to get on here because you over here popping shit and the fucking you haven't even been live for 5 minutes yet. And you over here asking for apologies and like sometimes a good dick on the table episode is fun to watch once in a year. And then you get back to your regular shit, which is what we got. And it was a which I would love to talk about. But this guy is unbelievable. This fucking guy goes on a rant when I'm not even fucking on here and doesn't even ask me in person for an apology. He asked me through the internet. This fucking guy, like, if anybody in the world is a wrestling fucking observer, no pun intended there. Fuck him. Fuck him.
See what he did there.
But I see what you did there.
Everyone knew last week was a party. This week,
but it wasn't a good party. That's my point.
To you, it wasn't a good party.
No,
and this was a wrestling fan.
I enjoyed the celebration.
I literally watched the review back, and y'all had almost as many complaints as me, and y'all still gave it a 7 at the end of the review.
Because it's okay to have parts that I did not appreciate, but then you get to you put the meat on the table moments. I was really pissed the fuck off that they didn't have the fucking world heavyweight champion on the show, which was always my biggest gripe about last week.
And then they put him on the show this week and treated him like a mid-card champion.
And replacing fucking the man with an old man.
That was fine by me.
That was my two chief complaints.
And The Rock.
You knew that shit was going to happen.
No, we did not. We didn't know he was going to nuke
the nigga
programs.
Said he was going to be on Netflix literally last year. When they struck the deal, he went live.
No, I'm not talking about the fact that he was here. I'm talking about the fact that he nuked the 2 WrestleMania programs he was supposed to be a part of.
Oh, because he was like, nah, I'm not committing to that shit. I got Moana, nigga. I ain't committing to that shit.
All right, let's get this review back on track. Come on.
Yeah, please. You know what? You're right, Romeo. This fucking guy, yo. This fucking guy. asking Romeo for an apology as well. Like
Skirting around without giving the apology. We got another super chat donation here from the good sister Belle. Thank you so much, Belle. She says, I don't know about you guys, but after Lyra won the IC title last night, I have a feeling that is Becky's match, and Rhea might face Io. I won't lie. If they are going to put the Intercontinental title on WrestleMania, that's the match to go with. It's Becky and Lyra, for sure.
That'd be perfectly fine by me.
He's like Becky not in the main title picture. He's like, I'm happy with that. Yes.
That's good for Lyra too. Very good for Lyra.
Yeah. What do you think, JJ?
I mean, Becky's got to be back for it to be interesting. They can't just throw her back and whatever the fuck is happening with the women's division right now. To me, I just can't define the women's division. I just can't define it yet. I'm happy about what happened last night, but I just can't define it yet. Like, it feels like they're still like piecing it together. That's what it looks like they're doing at the moment, is piecing it together week to week. And it feels like a new piece is going to be added weekly. And it seems like they probably heard the world's complaints about where the fuck is Bayley, because she's been on like 3 straight shows. But
last night's segment might have been the worst part of the show.
She's been on. That's what I said. She's been on 3 straight shows.
We do have also Will Chisholm who says, I'm talking about
baby steps.
I'm talking about a women's match, whether it's good or great, he will never give them the 5. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we all know that with Dave. He's allergic to giving a 5-star matchup. But what I was trying to say, Will, is that last night's match wasn't the hill to die on, to call Dave out on. Like Hazuki and Mercedes happened a month ago. That was the hill to die on, to be like, Dave, you just refuse to give a fantastic, memorable women's match 5 stars. Like that one. Mercedes versus Chris Statlander at World's End. That was even close enough. Like last night's match, it's an 8-minute match on a random episode of Raw. That's what I was trying to say. Like, that's not the one to be like, oh my God, another great women's match that Dave didn't give 5 stars to. No, I'm going to look at that match and I'm going to be like, oh no, he was right. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And then, really, I thought it was great. I thought 4 stars. 4 stars is a perfect rating for that matchup. We do have Chuck Berry's with one last super chat before we get things going with the review. He says, hi, watch Raw this morning on demand. Couldn't watch it live because I have to find out who my team's next opponent is in the playoffs. Great show, though. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. We appreciate the love, support. I hope your team does well in the playoffs, and let us know who your team is. You don't have to send a super chat donation.
Sounds like an Eagles fan,
It's got to obviously definitely Lions or Eagles.
I mean, you don't have a horse in the race. The Jets didn't make the playoffs, did they?
No, I don't. But there are quite a few teams I would like to see lose. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, you get joy out of people losing.
Bandwagon. Yes.
So he's. So we both got our spot. We both got our spots on the couch. It just looks like he bought a couple of extra slots for people he prefer to have next to him on the couch.
Eagles are one of them. Bills, definitely. The Bills are at the top. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, let's go Ravens.
Let's get into last night's Monday Night Raw. The show took place from San Jose, California. Top guy JJ, what did you think about the crowd last night?
Another good crowd, despite of everything that's happening, and if everybody, I'm pretty sure everybody has mentioned it right now. Just hopefully, if you have anybody that is over there, hopefully they are safe and sound as possible. There's just so much happening in LA in general right now. Like, it's just the fact that we got the football game that got moved from LA to Arizona. And then they had the episode of Raw that was in town, and they had all of these people that showed up to it. It just showed that they wanted something to distract their brains for 3 hours, and they showed out. Like, they were another really great crowd last night. So that's both Netflix shows have had 2 fantastic crowds. And hopefully this is a standard that just keeps going when you attend these shows, is that you fucking are there to participate and have fun. And despite if they are able to have fun last night, there's no excuse for any city to not have fun, because they had everything to just kind of just be there and just kind of just watch it and just not be invested. And they were just as invested as if nothing's happening there.
Romeo, what about you?
Yeah, I gave them like an 8 out of 10. They were pretty good.
There we go. Yeah, I thought the crowd was good last night, especially for a certain parts of the show they were really into, which I enjoyed. Monday Night Raw,
Hispanic parts.
absolutely. Opened up with a drone shot of the sold out crowd in San Jose. We got a video package of Raw's debut on Netflix last week. And then we see CM Punk arriving to the building in the loading dock in a black Chevrolet Tahoe. The camera followed him through the gorilla position into the arena. Punk embraced fans in the front row. He put a kid's Jey Uso shades on and made the yeet gesture. The crowd loudly chanted for Punk as he took it all in. He told the fans that the chants did his heart good. Punk acknowledged all the firefighters, the first responders throughout the great state of California, as well as everyone helping from other states, Canada, Mexico. The crowd cheered this sentiment. Punk spoke about his win over Seth Rollins. He had a lot on his mind and a lot on his plate, but Rollins was no longer one of them. The Royal Rumble didn't go well for him last year thanks to his triceps, but he made a setback into the biggest comeback, and it was his dream to win the Rumble, but that was taken away. Punk mentioned that John Cena declared for the Rumble, but so what if he can't see the WrestleMania sign? So what if you can't see him? He is declaring for the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match. Punk planned on throwing out 29 other men and winning the Rumble. He then finished his promo by telling the person in the back to play his music. And instead, he got the music of Seth freaking Rollins, which Punk
one of my
was
favorite,
not...
one of my favorite Punk things in WWE right now is reacting to Seth's interruptions.
Overreacting. Yes.
I love it.
He was yelling into the camera. Why can't it be Rhea Ripley's music? Why can't Rhea Ripley interrupt me? Rollins was cheered by the fans. He removed his shades to reveal a black eye, which got Punk into the ring to get a closer look. The crowd then chanted for Punk. Punk noticed the black eye and moved in even closer. Rollins reiterated what he had said. Win, lose, or draw, he planned on being on Monday Night Raw. And if he didn't show up when times were hard, well, that wouldn't be him. That would be Punk. Rollins said that he'd rather be the worst version of himself than be any version of Punk. Rollins said that he has lost a lot of matches, including at WrestleMania, but last week's was the worst of his career. He has never been more disappointed in himself. To underestimate Punk and lose on the biggest stage of his career, the only way to make up for it was to take Punk's dreams away from him. So he wants to flush it all down the toilet, and he plans on doing that by entering the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match, which once again, CM Punk was not too pleased to hear. Drew McIntyre's music hit and Punk overreacted again. He was pissed to see Drew McIntyre as well. McIntyre referred to one of them without saying the name. He says he never ceased to amaze him how he gets more disgusting and selfish every single time, more than ever. Punk said that the last time he saw McIntyre, he stood in the ring with him. He was on his knees begging him to stop. He was in tears, covered in his blood, begging for his life. If McIntyre wanted to step in the ring with him again, it would take more than 15 stitches to close that wound. McIntyre said he wasn't talking to Punk. He was talking to Rollins. Rollins extended him the same invitation. McIntyre said that they were both so alike. Rollins was all talk. He talked about being a leader, but he was nowhere to be found during tribal combat because he was too concerned with his own match, which he lost anyway. He called Rollins pathetic. He didn't have patience for this, said Seth Rollins, where he wanted to fight right then and there. Punk didn't have patience either, and he was ready for a fight with either of them. McIntyre teases a triple threat between them. He starts walking towards the ring, but then he backs down to the dismay of the fans. He says that there were more important things going on. McIntyre again spoke about Roman Reigns, and he says that he would be the reluctant hero that would take him down. He says, the man with so many people that he's against and enemies that he has, he says he wished there was a way to do that where he could fight all these people and get the number one contendership to get another shot at the world title. Oh yeah, there is. I'm declaring for the Royal Rumble as well to get his hands on the title before Reigns could. And that leads to McIntyre leaving, ending our segment here. I finished this segment and I was like, the show is already better than last week. This was a promo segment that accomplished something that's going to keep me watching. Later in the show, they would set up a match out of this promo segment from last week that makes me want to watch that show. They set up 3 new people for the Royal Rumble, making this one of the more stacked Royal Rumble matches with Roman Reigns, John Cena. Commentary also mentioned Jey Uso and LA Knight have declared for the Rumble as well. So you got all this star power for the Royal Rumble match. Makes me want to watch the Rumble. Makes me want to watch next week. This promo accomplished what no promos on last week or any angles they did on last week's show were able to do.
Except
JJ.
John Cena. John Cena.
I already knew he was going to be in the Royal Rumble.
But he did. But well, just full disclaimer here. Everything wrestling-wise about this show was exponentially better than last week. Everything. And it already started in promo 1. Like, I loved everything. I felt like a Mark watching this shit like over again, like in the heyday. Like, I loved everything about this promo. And it's, when Drew enters the scene, I just know facts are about to come out. And the fact that when he was like, Punk admits that he's a piece of shit. At least he admits he's a prick. You, on the other hand, you're selfish and you're still a loser. You're a selfish loser. Like, he was like, he did his part. And Drew has kept the same energy for how many years now? Trying to keep Roman out of power. And he has been consistent with this no matter the cost, it seems. And here he goes again, not even his business, gets into a fight with Jey Uso to try to help Solo, keep the Ula Fala. And here goes Seth Rollins. Oh, I'm prepared for my match and I'm about to take an L on anyway, and was nowhere to be fucking found. So it's like, yeah, accountability, nigga. I love the accountability piece. Take some accountability. Nah, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna stomp your head in the ground. No, nigga, take some accountability for the shit that he just said. Like, the fuck? Like, I loved it. I love Punk's overreactions to everything when it comes to just people blowing his shit. Like, he's like, yo, the fuck, man? I just wanted to come out here and declare myself, and all you motherfuckers just got to come out here just to get a piece of my motherfucking glory, and just both of y'all have the same idea as me. Like, I enter the Rumble, and both of you motherfuckers copy me and enter the Royal Rumble. I loved it. I loved it. But Seth Rollins still had that nice little line there. I'd rather be any version of me than any version of you. The worst version of me than any version of you. I love that shit too. This was a fire promo. Better than any promo, obviously, of last week. But again, you're going to hear that a lot probably on this review.
Yes. Romeo, what did you think?
Yeah, this was great. Punk's already good on the mic, but then you throw out his past 2 rivals, Seth, Drew, and it just enraged him. It got even more pissed off. That was great. And the star power in this Rumble match, this men's Rumble match, it's really adding up now. It's really getting good. It's really making me look forward to it. And I don't know if they'll do it but I kind of hope Cena's in there early because there's like so many face-offs I want to see Cena have with some of these guys. I know he's old, so it's asking a lot out of him. If he needs to sleep every 5 minutes, that's fine. Go take your little nap so you're fresh for the end because you know he's gonna be one of the final two. You know he is.
I don't think he's gonna be the final two.
No,
I think he'll be in the final four, but I think he gets eliminated before the final two. I think final two. You want to hear whom I think is final two?
If you want to give it away early, sure.
Punk and Roman. Punk and Roman. Gotta tease the WrestleMania match because whoever wins is going to WrestleMania, and whoever loses is probably going to beat Gunther before WrestleMania.
I'm kind of thinking that Seth is going to get some of his revenge here by eliminating Punk in this Rumble.
I can see that. I can see it like a Sid way where Seth is trying to cost Punk and he accidentally helps
Roman.
That would be fantastic. That we just booked it. Yo, Triple H, I know you watch
Seth Roman match too.
We just set that up beautifully for you. Where Seth is so obsessed with screwing over Punk, he helps Roman win the Rumble.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be great.
I don't care if it's like a redo famous pass angle. Do it. You can do it again. I won't mind.
Absolutely.
Oh my God!
Again. It's been 32 years.
Yeah.
Bro.
Do one for this generation.
Drew will have a field day.
Exactly.
Yo,
we did. It sets up like 4 different characters perfectly.
Oh my God. Drew will fucking explode on Seth Rollins if that shit happens. And this is where I hope that Seth is able to fucking kind of pivot and understand the situation he's in instead of, hey, come down here, right now, and I'll stomp your head in. That bullshit that he does like every fucking promo.
Well, I think he's starting his slow burn to being heel. I think
the
loss last week is the catalyst that's starting this slow burn.
And Drew is hand in hand with him because Drew's already went through this and he sees it coming.
Yeah.
His video Tron got a little darker too. It changed a little bit too.
Who's?
Seth.
I didn't notice. Look at that.
I didn't notice either. But we see Damian Priest, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and Lyra Valkyria all arriving at the building for their big matches later in the show. But we got a big match to open things up. Chad Gable comes out as he has a mystery opponent, and that mystery opponent is as Michael Cole said it, the worst kept secret in the business. So like I told you, Romeo, they expected this to be some type of secret. They did not advertise that he was going to be Chad Gable's opponent. They also did not advertise that he was going to be here this week. So it was
all new.
And don't call it a secret. Don't call it a secret then.
Tell that to WWE Shop that fucking had his merch available at 12 p.m. the day before Raw.
Why you getting mad at me for calling them out?
Mad?
Stupidly promoting shit. Stupidly.
That's not stupid. That wasn't stupid at all.
This nigga was the fucking thumbnail of WWEshop.com at noon yesterday.
Yeah. You want to sell it early? Let him sell it early. We already know he's going to be there. We already know.
Romeo making excuses for WWE.
They wrote Penta on the screen
He goes face to face with Chad Gable early on. They go back and forth with some chain wrestling, some mat wrestling as well. Penta comes back. He slips up early on a bounce back reverse leg drop. Kind of got botched that up a little bit, but that was kind of one of his only missteps. Things really got going after the first commercial break. We get Chad Gable in a nice little German suplex on the ring apron. Gable smashed Penta's leg against the ring post and continued to work over his leg. The crowd chanted, "You suck" at Gable. Penta avoided a diving headbutt and hit a super kick, but Gable cut him off again, suplexing him into the turnbuckles. Penta came back with a sling blade, a flip dive to the outside, and then he hit a big backstabber for a 2. Gable responded with a big German suplex with the bridge, getting a 2 count. Penta came back with a Tierras and then hit a ridiculous looking Mexican destroyer with Gable taking one of the most beautiful bumps you will ever see. That got a big "This is awesome" chant from the crowd. Penta did his Sato, Meadow, and then kicked Gable in the head. Gable hit a dragon screw instead, catching the leg, and then applied an ankle lock, looking like he was on the verge of victory, but Penta was able to reverse out of it. He countered, gets him into the sacrifice, the hammerlock, into the arm breaker, and then he follows up hitting the Penta driver for the 1-2-3. Penta having a successful debut here on Monday Night Raw, but it would get even better with this debut as Jackie Redmond gets into the ring for post-match. We did see Penta and his family, his kids, are in the front row watching him with his successful debut here. Jackie Redmond interviews him and he thanks her as well as the fans. He calls WWE and Raw his new home. He said everyone has been waiting for this, but the truth was he had been waiting for this moment as well. He starts speaking in Spanish. He shouts out his family in the front row, some of whom are in tears because they know this is his dream. Love the cameras where the camera was getting close, where you could see the face paint, you could see the mask. He says that this was a new era in WWE. This is a Netflix era, but this was also a new era for Penta. And he says that that is because that he is Penta and he is Zero Metal. Huge pop for him. The crowd reacted to this. Huge. WWE for the past, decade has been looking for the next Rey Mysterio, a luchador who had this much charisma that could be a draw for the merchandise, that can get the fans behind him and get over in a big way. They got that in Penta, if any indication from last night. The presentation, the light show made him feel like a superstar from the entrance. The match started off slow, a little bit clunky with the botch early on, but really got going after the first commercial break. I did not like the layout of the matchup too much. It felt like it was too much of Penta selling and not doing enough of showing off his offense, but we got that in the latter half of the matchup, and this match turned out to be awesome in general coming out of it. But I thought the promo post-match was even better. We do have to bring up the reports and everything, but first we will just address what did we think about the debut of Penta on Raw. JJ.
This was great. From everything about, obviously, worst cat Michael. I just love how Michael Cole just covered the base immediately. I love that. The presentation of him was fucking amazing. It looks like this is a guy that they've been kind of preparing to have for years, because he looks great, by the way. He just fits this place. He just fits it. Everything about presentation to me, just personally, 9.5 out of 10 presentation wise. This was phenomenal. And the match, so y'all might have to help me out on this part here, because I have the Netflix premium subscription. I got almost no commercials. Pretty much all show. I got maybe
I didn't get any commercials for this match. This match was
free. Okay. Because I think I had that last week too, where I was hearing a lot of commercials, but I was like, I didn't really see many commercials, because I think they have these little inner segments where they kind of just keep it rolling, or they just show an advertisement. And
there was one point in the match where they go to the outside, and it's
that
normal thing. They're oh, commercial's probably coming up, but it never went.
It never went to it. Yeah.
But my God, yeah. So the first 5 minutes, you could just see a little bit of ring rust, because he hasn't really performed with somebody in months. And then once he picked it up, it's the ability of him to also look good, but to make someone else look strong too, is so underrated to me about Penta. Is how good Chad Gable also looked in this match. This was so good. This was really good. And I was a little scared about that flying swanton dive out when they showed the replay, it showed how perfectly Chad actually caught him. Like Chad caught him so well when I saw the replay, because I thought when I saw it originally, I was like, damn, he just didn't touch him. And then next thing you know, I was like, oh shit, nah, he caught him really well. But the match, like the good trade-offs, good back and forth, some good threats, as you saw. But I mean, everybody probably knew Penta was gonna pull it off, but it had suspense. Like this was a really, really solid match debut opener for Penta. And just the emotional promo afterwards just was like icing on the cake right there. That was just beautiful. Like you could just see and feel how happy he is to be there, regardless of what anybody might think or regardless of what the history of luchadors are in WWE. He genuinely feels and looks happy to finally be in the WWE. And if you're not happy for that, you need to check your fucking pulse and your heart rate, because there's something wrong with you if you're not happy for him the way he expressed how happy he was, because that was phenomenal. That was phenomenal. The whole thing, that whole little, whether it was like 15, 20 minutes that we got of it was great.
Romeo, what did you think about Penta's debut?
I thought the presentation was pretty good. His entrance, the way he was moving, you had to have the Cero Miedo whenever he comes out. You have to say that. But I don't know about the music. I couldn't really hear it all that well.
The music
talking all over it.
The music stuff.
It's like generic. It needs better guitar. It's just like Triple H, just buy out Def Rebel.
We're trying to focus on the positive. We're trying to focus on the positive. So I appreciate you bringing it up. But the music sucked. Yeah.
That's why they lost the point. That's why they lost a 0.5 for me. It would have been a perfect 10.
Yeah, and now I understand why you gave it a 9.5.
Yeah, it was the music to me was just like
it literally was that tweet serious? Because I want to check that to see if it was that was some music from WWE 2K24.
I don't know. I would imagine that he will eventually have better music sometime down the line, but
I mean, y'all been planning this shit since like September. Why y'all didn't get like Mexican rappers to make some music for him?
That don't bother me too much. If
it probably sounded like good in studio, but when you hear it out loud, it's probably different.
They spoke all over it too. It's like whatever. They must know it's bad. The actual these talking all over. Cole was loud as hell. The actual match, I thought was awesome. Chad Gable was a great first opponent for Penta. Really brought the best out of him. Besides the early slips, I feel like Penta, he's got to get used to these WWE ropes. They're not like the AEW ropes.
Yeah, because AEW use cables. Yeah, they use actual ropes in WWE.
Yeah, so he probably didn't get a chance to practice. He's probably in hiding early on, so I don't know. And then afterwards, Penta's selling. Right? He's selling like crazy. That leg. You see that scream, like he's yelling into the camera.
Yeah. Mad people thought he was really hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
So authentic. Yeah, love it.
That was good. And then the post-match promo, his English was good. His message was awesome. And then having his family out there humanized him. Like that just added so much. It made you feel even more better for him than you already did. Right. And the little girl crying, his daughter, like, how could you not look at that and be like, wow, that's so awesome. I'm so happy for them.
Yeah.
And you spoke about being the next star, the next Mexican star. I don't know if you heard Bad Bunny slip up where he said Backlash was going to be in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There's your Rey Mysterio Penta tag team or match.
Don't ruffle my fucking fancy like that and think we could potentially get a Penta and Bunny match. Like,
that too.
Oh, there you go. You have the LWO. He gonna join the LWO.
I am calling out a fucking work if that fucking match happens, bro.
And can I also say something about the Lucha Bros? I know Phoenix is upset he's not there with them. I know he is. I kind of think it's almost a blessing in disguise. Because I feel like you get two moments now. Whenever Phoenix comes down the line, instead of both of them at the same time, they both get their separate moment.
It's the one thing that AEW didn't do that every other promotion I've seen Penta in has done. Like every other promotion I've seen Penta in, he's been able to be a character on his own. Like Lucha Underground, he was the biggest breakout star from Lucha Underground because he was presented on his own. The stories with Vampiro, his road to becoming the Lucha Underground champion, all of that were some of the most memorable stories there. And Phoenix was able to tell his own stories with the Mil Mortes rivalry and stuff like that. And then, you know, eventually he got to the top into the main event scene and won the title there. Impact Wrestling, he comes in. They had Penta and Phoenix coming at the same time, but they presented them as separate before they became a tag team. And Penta comes in and wins the Impact World Championship in like his second match in the promotion. Like AEW was the only place. It wasn't until like after they were together for a while, or if one of them got hurt, were they ever presented on their own. And even on their own, you got stupid ass Alex Abrahantes doing Fortnite fucking taunts behind them and shit, making them uncool. like, yeah, AEW did not ever give Penta the chance to be a star on his own. That was their one misstep. I don't want to make this an AEW versus WWE thing, but it is noticeable that this is like, for people who have followed Penta over the last decade, where he's been in those 4 promotions, the only place he wasn't ever presented as a single star is AEW.
And you know, it's crazy when you say that. The only time that it felt like they had a chance to do it, and this is before like they obviously became AEW, and it was like on a silver fucking platter, it was handed to them, is when Pentagon at the time had that fucking banger of a match with Kenny Omega at All In.
Yep.
Like that was like, this is a guy that you can put your fucking banner behind. It just never happened.
That was one of the most anticipated matches of that show.
Yeah, and it just never happened. And that match was one of the reasons that fucking had to get the main event clipped. Because it was that fucking good.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see what he does, but I'm very happy for him. Like I said, I followed him through all these different promotions. Always been a fan of Penta, and if you've been a fan of Penta this long, you know how much this meant to him. So I'm very happy for him.
Amazing. Just find me if there's one that's out there, find me a better sell of the fucking Mexican Destroyer than Chad Gable's. Oh my god.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Find me a better sell.
I mean, the one nitpick that I can say is that
like he killed him.
I don't ever see Chad Gable getting out of this spot. He's just too good. He's just too good at making everybody else look good that I don't think WWE is ever going to see anything more in him than that. You know, like he had his best chance last year. They blew it. And I think that he's basically like, watch this match. And I was like, man, he's just so good. He's great. But I just had that feeling in the back of my head, like he's just too good in this. And he's basically in the same spot he was 2 years ago. They literally went in a circle and got him to the same place he was 2 years ago.
Is it just me? Is it just me, or does it look like he's also like he's putting on a little bit more muscle, like he's getting a little bulky?
Yeah.
Something I'm still holding out a little hope for Chad Gable, and I think they spent a lot of 2024 working on his character. Like a lot of 2024 went into like trying to find like a character for him. I just think that they haven't found the pairing with him to make his character work enough for them to be like, yeah, we could put more behind him. He's way too serious. Like he's way too serious. It's like, and it's like, it's good if he's that serious, but there's like an element there that I don't think is grasping with people when it comes to him, when he's talking, when he's showing his personality or cutting any promos. But once that, he is like the opposite of Jey Uso. It's like everything is so bland about everything about him. But once that fucking bell rings, you are probably going to get one of the best matches of the night. And then say that.
But he plays that geeky Kurt Angle style character very, very well, where you can be a goof or not that interesting or a plain white bread eating, milk drinking fucking nerd before the bell rings, and then you turn into a wrestling machine. I think they could do that if they ever felt the need to.
Well, also, I'm going to credit San Jose, because if San Jose is the launching pad of his thunderous "you sucks" during his entrance,
no,
because
No, it's been there for a while.
This was really loud last night. Like this
Nah. Like I said, they missed a peak. It was like this every week in the spring and summer last year. You remember Romeo? It was like that every during that rivalry. Yes. And when he was when Otis picking on Otis, when Otis was in the group, that's when it really started.
Yeah. He was picking on the Academy. Yeah. But I think 2024 was a good year for him. Hopefully he just builds on that this year. But I think 2024 was actually a really good year for Chad Gable.
I agree with this from Bell. When he did the whole thing, when he got the promo against Cody and talked about the transfer window, I was like, yeah, you feel like you can get higher up the ladder on SmackDown than you will on Raw.
Yeah, because the matches that he could have on SmackDown would be fucking match of the night qualities. I immediately just thought of him and Carmelo Hayes, like, holy shit, that would be fucking killer.
Yes. Agreed there.
I'm not giving up on Gable. I'm not giving up.
Yeah,
I'm not giving up on him. I'm just saying I have a feeling WWE hasn't given up, but they just see him in this role. And they see how great he is in this role.
He's basically calling out their lack of faith and just pushing him.
Yeah, I see. If you're good, it's basically okay. Now I got the phrase for it to better understand. If people don't understand what I'm saying, he's their new Dolph Ziggler.
Hey man, say what you want about Dolph Ziggler. He eventually got to the mountaintop too, though. He is a former world champ.
A mountaintop?
He is a former world champ.
When the world title was basically a mid-card title.
Well,
to the WWE Championship.
Can we get that out of Gable?
I mean, where the world title is now, yeah. I mean, that's doable, but I wouldn't call that the mountaintop.
That's just the problem. That would be the problem with going to SmackDown, is that he's not going to ever get the WWE Championship.
Good point.
It's like fuck. There's pros and cons to him. Because his title is on Raw.
He hasn't even won the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, with baby steps.
I think he has a better chance of winning the U.S. title.
Winning the United States, yes.
There you go.
And it fits his character.
He's got stepping stones.
That'll be a good goal.
Transfer portal. Y'all better be listening to this fucking review right now. Transfer portal.
Judgment Day were backstage. They meet in the back in the Judgment Day clubhouse. Finn Balor sarcastically told Liv Morgan that she will be champion again, right? Morgan said that she at least was successful at taking a piece of Rhea Ripley, because that was what the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour was all about. Hopefully Finn can finally get a piece of Damian tonight. Dominic Mysterio shows up, so Balor let them sort their issues out. Dom had flowers and tried to explain what happened last week. Morgan acted like she wasn't upset, and then told him to grab her bags and Raquel's bags from the trunk. Morgan tossed the flowers to Carlito, and she left with Raquel. Dom, blissfully unaware, told Balor and the gang everything must be good now, and Balor says he got a lot to learn. He offered Balor his help in tonight's street fight, and Balor told him to worry about his girl and go get her bags.
She didn't even keep the roses, bro.
She tossed the roses. How blissfully unaware are you?
Like, the fuck?
What's funny is that later on social media, she does post a picture of her with the roses. She was gray hair. She was like a woman scorned, but Dom couldn't tell. He's still a rookie at this shit.
Still a fucking rookie, wet back behind the ears.
The funniest part that you guys may not have noticed is like when the scene ends in the background on the TV, is they just finished
Dom.
Yeah, but the funniest part is it's like a Dom match they just finished playing, and it says 1 star for the match.
I didn't see that.
He literally by like count out or some shit. Like,
oh shit.
That's hilarious. We do see what's his name? Daniel Cormier in the audience, in the crowd. He, of course, former UFC light heavyweight and heavyweight champion as well as a commentator. He was supposed to be a commentator in WWE years ago, but that never transpired. But he's here representing TKO. We also see Braun Breaker in the crowd, but he's here for our next matchup, which is Sheamus going one-on-one with Ludwig Kaiser. This went to break early on, which took us to the top of the hour. They battled. This was your usual affair, what you expect from a Kaiser and Sheamus matchup. Very hard-hitting, physical affair. We get Sheamus hits Kaiser with a big knee strike when he tries to grab the shillelagh. Kaiser cut him off and went back on the offense. He looks for the Kaiser kick after getting a near fall with it early in the match. He goes for it again. Sheamus is able to duck out the way. He hits the bro kick for the 1-2-3. This did have the break early on in the matchup, which took about 3 minutes of the match. We only saw about six minutes of this about 9-minute matchup. Good stuff from what we saw with Sheamus and Kaiser, as we usually expect. Sheamus in the post match got into Braun Breaker's face in the crowd. They went face to face. Braun shoved him, but the referee got in between them before things could escalate. And then later on in the show, it was announced, thanks to his victory against Kaiser in this matchup, Sheamus will get the next opportunity at the Intercontinental Championship when he challenges Braun Breaker on Saturday, January 25th, Saturday night's main event from San Antonio, Texas. Like I said, good stuff from Sheamus and Kaiser. I've just seen this shit way too many times, and it's just a fucking blur to me at this point. It's just like, another good Sheamus and Kaiser match. Wasn't their best match. Wasn't their worst match. They don't have a worst match. They don't have a bad match. They have a bunch of good matches, but I'm just annoyed at how many I've seen of these. They faced each other like 11 different times in several different matters for the past fucking 8 months. Like, goddamn, let's move on.
Which is why I appreciate that they put the commercial break here in a match that I've seen before instead of the one that I wanted to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't see a commercial break at all.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, because I didn't see a break. And it feels like, and I guess it's almost like the commentary, they just start talking compared to commentating. It's like they're talking, almost like giving you a little bit of backstory and shit like that. It's like they're talking, and then at some point they just get back into commentating mode. I guess that was like the commercial break, I guess.
Did you get the last super chat, SP3?
Yeah,
Chuck.
I get it. From Chuck Berries, he says, thank you so much, Chuck Berries. Appreciate the support once again with another super chat donation. He says, if Phoenix eventually gets to WWE, do you think that he and Penta will do immediate tag team matches together? Yes.
100%.
100%.
You gotta sell Lucha Bros gear.
Exactly. You gotta sell Lucha Bros. You gotta sell Lucha Bros gear, and it's much more likely the Lucha Bros rise up to become champions than Penta on his own become champions. Thus, you're not gonna be able to basically pay off any type of push you give Penta as a singles more than you would be able to pay that off with his brother.
100%. It's practically a guarantee, barring injury, that they will be top of the tag team mountain.
They will be tag team champions sometime this year if Phoenix is let go from his contract.
How long do you think that is?
He'll be there?
That he'll be in AEW? That's anybody's guess at this point. Because he got injured. He got injured way too many times for us to get.
They add time due to his fucking mountain of injuries.
Yeah, Penta feels like it's going to be at least a year or so. I feel like.
But that means you could rock with Penta in a singles push for a bit.
Yeah,
go ahead.
But I don't know if they'll pay it off though. Like him winning a title, that's the payoff for someone introduced and you giving them a push right off the rip. The payoff is them eventually winning a title and getting into either bigger programs on there or facing bigger opponents. I don't know if they're gonna be able to do that.
Him and Braun Breaker gonna slap.
Oof.
Oh, that would. But is he gonna beat Braun Breaker?
No, not at this point. But
not at this point.
Keep
Not
getting
right.
those
I
reactions.
can't see it.
You know
I can't
what?
see
It
it right
depends
now.
on-
Even though I think the debut was incredible, I don't see that right now.
It depends on when this match happens to me. Is that because eventually Braun Breaker is going for the World Heavyweight Championship. We're ready eventually. So it's almost when is this match going to happen? If it happens around like after Mania, closer to SummerSlam time, yeah, I would see Penta beating him because then Braun would be on to the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm just saying, like, if it happens sooner, then no. Later, possibly.
Kathy Kelly is. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Romeo.
I was just gonna say, Penta, you keep getting those reactions like that. You keep delivering those performances like that. And you move some merch with all these masks.
That man gonna be top 5 in merch by the end of the week.
See that? Kathy Kelly was backstage with Seth freaking Rollins, asking him about Drew McIntyre earlier in the show. It's been announced by Adam Pearce he will face Drew in a WrestleMania rematch next week. Rollins owed him one for WrestleMania and said next week should be fun. He then walks down a little bit and he's approached by Sami Zayn. Sami offered an ear if he ever wanted to talk following his tough loss against CM Punk. Rollins said last week was rough for him, but it was great for Sami. His boy, Roman Reigns, got the Ulafala bag. Zayn helped him and everything. Last week, just like he did at War Games, Rollins wondered if Zayn would keep helping Reigns. Would he help him win the Royal Rumble, help him win the world title back until he wins the title, or would Sami eventually start helping himself? This, of course, makes it official. It will be Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. I do not like this new Raw graphic. It makes it look like they're like on the cover of a porn.
Really?
Yeah.
What? What the hell? That's the last thing I expected to hear.
He took that graphic personal.
I'm just saying, look at Drew. Look at Drew. Tell me you wouldn't see that on a porn cover.
Bang
With a girl next to him.
Bang Bros.
Did you like the moving graphic? I like the moving graphics. Do you like that?
The moving graphics is all right, but there's just something about the graphic as a standstill. It just looks weird. Any thoughts on the exchange between Seth and Sami? This was just another sign that Seth is going to the dark side.
Great needling by Seth. That was really good.
Yeah. And hopefully it motivates Sami to enter the Royal Rumble as well. We need more stars. We need more stars. We need more conflict here. Absolutely. But speaking of Sami, it did lead to Sami doing something else. We see backstage a disgruntled Karrion Kross informed The Miz that the Wyatt Six have been moved to SmackDown.
Wow!
I belly laughed. Oh my god! Kross hoped Miz had nothing to do with that. It led to Sami Zayn approaching and asking if Adam Pearce was in his office.
Careful, Sami.
Kross said that he overheard what Sami said earlier. Kross and Miz joked about the idea of Sami winning another title. Sami said that the Miz had been Kross's lackey for so long and nobody was even thinking about him. Miz reminded Sami that he's been world champion twice, which is 2 more than Sami. Zayn said that he had a few things to discuss with Pearce, and now one of those was to get a match against Miz tonight. And Kross made sure Miz knew that he was on his own against Sami.
Oh, man. My guy Karrion, man. Got the Wyatt Six banished. Do not cross paths with my guy Karrion. Sami, don't do it. Sami, people get cursed when they cross paths with Karrion Kross.
Damn, bro.
Kross must be a good politician, man. He avoided taking a loss to the Wyatt Six, man. Go get him. Go get him.
Defeated the Wyatt Six. He won.
I guess the only good thing that's going to come out of the Wyatt Six is my championship ring of Uncle Howdy.
Oh.
See that? It's Uncle Howdy, my fantasy championship ring.
Very nice.
That I dominated in the league that I was in with Sir Romeo in it.
Yeah.
Romeo didn't make it to the championship of our fantasy league either. I made it to the championship. I lost in the championship, unfortunately.
I'm back to back champion in that league. Let's go. I'm about to fucking around and show both my rings. Show them just trying to be Tom Brady out this bitch in that league.
There you go.
Uncle Howdy, such a sad story.
Damn,
'Cause
man.
now
This white is 6 thing. I don't know if it's working.
I guess SmackDown needed some more fillers, so they just sent the whole
They
group over there.
needed to fill 3 hours.
They just sent the whole group over there. Just said,
And for them to not show up every week. Probably they still won't show up every week.
and just as they were starting to kind of like build,
They
something,
seem over every time they come out, but it just seems like the creative team is not able to make them weekly characters. It's just hard.
And they just nuked them. Now they gotta start over and terrorize and make a story about somebody else.
They've already lost the rivalry now. Like they lost this rivalry with the fight. How do you lose rivalry? That's the first rivalry that Final Testament has won.
Let's go. Oh my God. That is so impressive, man. That is you know another thing I was thinking? Did they tell like the Judgment Day, Finn and them was like, this is your next program? And Finn was like, no, it's not.
No.
I don't
Why
know.
the fuck they didn't send the Judgment Day over to SmackDown?
Good point.
Just to get him away from Priest
man.
and Rhea, you know? Because you're not going back to that again. You better not. You better
God
stop.
damn, they didn't even get this fucking shit 6 months. They just said, nah, y'all out. Get off Netflix. Get off Netflix.
It's just that they got the bloodline over there, but I don't know.
That's crazy, yo. That's crazy to me. I can't help but
so
laugh.
impressed.
Like
I'm so impressed by Karrion Kross. He won the feud. Like he killed him.
Why is Six better be going over there to fuck with the bloodline, yo?
Hopefully. That's the only way you can bounce back from this.
People will be into that. People will get into that.
Yeah, for sure. Oba Femi is here. The NXT champion is in the crowd. I thought he was gonna have a confrontation with the next person that came out, which got me hyped. But the next person out is the World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther.
Oh, that's beneath him.
Gunther gets on the mic and he says that he was impressed with the spectacle of last week's show, but when it comes to the performance in the ring, I was less than impressed.
Oh, I rated it like SP3 did.
I agree, Gunther.
Yeah, I agree with Gunther. So I was like, yeah, good job, Gunther. You just speaking for fans right now.
He says, aside from him, he wished they had a roster that could fulfill his high expectations. Everyone fought over drama, like who is the head of the table or best in the world, but the only thing that mattered was the World Heavyweight Championship, which brought out main event Jey Uso. Uso is out here. He's got San Jose Sharks themed yeet shirts. He comes out to a big reaction from the fans. Pat McAfee gets a dirty look from Gunther when he's yeeting. Jey gets on the mic and says McIntyre is behind him. The bloodline is behind him. And he wanted a title match at Saturday night's main event. Gunther said that he knew he wouldn't hold the title forever, but Jey wouldn't be the guy to take it from him. They wrestled twice over the Intercontinental Championship, and Gunther beat him both times. He knew what Jey was capable of, and it was a lot less than him. Jey was entertaining, but Gunther would expose him as just a really talented tag team wrestler. Main event was a nickname to Jey, but it was where Gunther belonged. A match at Saturday night's main event, though, sounded too good for him, but he advised Jey to consider his choice. Gunther left the ring, and then Jey thought about it a little bit and then got on the mic and cut arguably one of his better promos here. He says everything Gunther said was true. Jey talked about all the doubters, how he's not supposed to be a single star. He's not supposed to sell all this merch. He's not supposed to be in the main event. He admitted that he was scared to do it alone, but he woke up every morning trying to earn respect. So at Saturday night's main event, Gunther would respect Jey when he beat his ass for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey led the crowd in yeeting. Gunther was amused by all of this, but it was made official after this at Saturday night's main event, January 25th. It will be Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship against main event Jey Uso. I was entertained by this segment. Really good segment here, but I don't know if it's the fact that it's Jey Uso. I don't know if it's the fact that of Gunther, his treatment and usage last week. This felt very mid-card title-ish.
Could it be that a part of it is like, you just know Jey Uso was going to lose again?
Yeah. It's that, and it's the fact that Gunther reminded me, I've already seen this for the Intercontinental title. So doing the feud again for the world title without Jey beating him, which it made sense for Sami to get a shot at the world title because Sami beat him. But Jey, a guy that he lost to Gunther twice, going after the world title after one random fluke victory against Drew McIntyre, made this feel very mid-cardish.
And
go ahead,
I was gonna say, I'm gonna do what Michael Cole did. I'm gonna just nuke him now. Michael Cole nuked him literally right after this and said Jey Uso is going after his first singles championship. He just nuked him. He just nuked him right after the promo. Like he hasn't accomplished anything yet. Which means that's a prelude to him catching a big fat L and still chasing his apparently his first single.
Apparently the Intercontinental title doesn't count.
Apparently that should never took place. They forgot all 42 days he was champion.
What a blur. It was a blur, man.
I was like, this nigga did not just nullify and just fucking undo his championship win and just say he's going after his first championship. He didn't say his first world championship. He said his first singles championship.
Oh, shit. I just got some breaking news from PW Insider. Corey Graves has been pulled from tonight's NXT.
Triple H was scrolling the timeline. I was like, what the fuck is this, Corey? You kidding me?
I was gonna wait till the end to bring this up, but it should be mentioned now since we got the breaking news here. Corey Graves, after WWE Raw last night, put out a very controversial tweet that got a lot of attention on social media as well as across the wrestling scene. He said in the tweet, I have it here, Romeo shared it with our chat. Imagine chasing your dream, then being told, not deciding, that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then you dedicate your life to something quote unquote dream adjacent and being pretty fucking awesome at it. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told you're not famous enough for your own job. Just in case you've wondered where I've been. Basically, it was reported last week by Dave Meltzer that Corey Graves had been removed from main roster commentary, that they wanted to go with a two-man table at Raw and SmackDown with Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett on SmackDown and Michael Cole and Pat McAfee on Raw because McAfee was the more famous name. That's why they wanted to use him over Corey, and Corey was then moved to be the third man on the NXT table, and thus that went down. And then Corey Graves put on another tweet, says he had a lot to say on NXT tonight. And then we just got the news, PW Insider saying Corey's been pulled from NXT.
You know what's crazy is that part of me, I really agrees with him because I thought of Joe Tessitore immediately and was like, this guy's a fucking terrible wrestling commentator. And was like, the fact that he's just more famous and Corey Graves is the only reason he's on the fucking SmackDown show, because I did not like his commentary on Raw. I don't like his commentary on SmackDown. He is vanilla as fuck. He just literally seems like he just doesn't know anybody on this fucking roster to even talk about anything other than the actual wrestling in the ring. And I'm pretty sure that shit fucking lit a fire under Corey Graves. Like, yo, I'm a part of this shit.
And I don't think it's Joe Tessitore. I think there's a reason why he did it after Monday Night Raw. And it's because, I hate to say it, because I know a lot of y'all are fans of his. Pat McAfee is not a good professional wrestling commentator. He's just not. Joe Tessitore is at least a good sports broadcaster. Right. He's learning how to be a wrestling broadcaster. Fucking Pat McAfee's been doing this for 3 years. and he was better when he first started than he is now.
I disagree. I love Pat McAfee on commentary way more than I do Corey Graves. Way more. It's not even close.
It's.
Well, I think they both. I think they both suck. To be honest with you, I think they're both not good. But like McAfee is objectively the worst commentator in professional wrestling today.
He has an arguable point.
No,
but it's Pat McAfee's personality that really gets him over.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
His personality.
That's
it's what he does. It's his enjoyment of the product and his passion for just watching it and talk about what's going down.
And if you like his type of personality, you will be like Romeo and think that he's not that bad. But if you actually listen to his commentary, he is objectively the worst professional wrestling commentator in the game today. He does not call anything. He does not tell any stories. He does not accomplish the goal of a professional wrestling commentator. He's just a fan who is very enthusiastic about the job. That's what he does.
Entertains the hell out of me. Entertains the hell out of me.
And that's what I'm saying. You're going to get, and this is going to be that would be a 50-50 discussion. So you're not going to get a certain answer from, if you ask 10 people, 5 and 5 will probably be on the side of you and 5 will be on the other side of like, you're crazy. Yeah. Because people love Pat's passion, but his calling of matches is bad, but he's just so invested and he just loves it so much that it just overshadows his lack of, say, knowledge about the product. And that's where I knock Joe Tessitore, because his personality sucks and he doesn't know anything about the fucking wrestlers. I just think he's fucked. To me, as right now, he will probably get better throughout the year. But as a right now, to me, he is awful.
My opinion is that I think in this situation, from all the knowledge, all the information that I've seen, I think Corey's kind of being unprofessional here. Very unprofessional, actually.
Oh, no. The tweet.
Oh, no, he is.
He should not have said that.
Yeah, he is. Like,
he should have not said that on a social media platform. He should have gone to Hunter and spoke to him one-off, not put that shit on social media to give every fucking body in the universe an opinion. Yeah, he fucked up there. He definitely fucked up.
It's definitely unprofessional. There's no question there. We were mainly debating who's better. And I would say that man, Corey Graves is better at getting the job done of a professional wrestling commentator. If your only gauge of a professional wrestling commentator is be entertaining, then I understand why you think Pat McAfee is good.
Sound matters. So it's how you sound matters too. So if you're just talking about it and you have a wealth of fucking knowledge and you sound like a fucking whatever the fuck you want to call it, you want to sound like a fucking library custodian or some shit, that shit ain't gonna get through to nobody.
Yeah, we got that on Wednesdays with Excalibur. But moving on.
By the way, one little thing. Mike Rome got sent to NXT to go be the announcer there. I didn't see no "woe is me" tweet from Mike Rome. Just saying.
No. We do.
Are you taking sudden jab at Excalibur? Why is Excalibur catching strays?
Like, we got a very good video package for the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament final, and then we went right into that one as Lyra Valkyria went one-on-one with Dakota Kai. This one started off pretty fast pace and fury, but really picked up like 2 minutes in when Lyra pulls out a fucking vertical drop brainbuster off the apron to the floor. Nasty bump. Got a huge reaction.
Oh, that splat was serious, bro.
Kai fought back after the commercial break, hitting a running boot in the corner, and then a flipping backstabber, the chiropractor for a 2 count. Valkyria blocked a go-to kick and hit a running sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Lyra then followed up with an axe kick off the ropes for a 2 count as well. Kai responded with a scorpion kick, a diving foot stomp, and then the go-to kick, but Lyra was able to roll out of the ring. That got a big reaction from the crowd as well. Lyra dodged a running boot in the corner and hit a nasty-looking sling blade while Kai was hung up on the rope. Lyra then followed up with the Nightwing, got the 1-2-3. Lyra Valkyria is your new and inaugural first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. A lot of emotion shown on her face in the post-match. Love the show of respect with Dakota as well. Both women deserve the opportunity here, deserve to be the inaugural Intercontinental Champion, but only one woman could come out with the win, and that was Lyra here. Big win for Lyra. Was a great match for just under 9 minutes. These two women went out there, were fast-paced, all thriller, no filler, and delivered here, and Lyra becomes the inaugural champ. Romeo, what did you think?
Solid action. I kind of wish it got maybe at least 4 more minutes probably, but still I enjoyed it, and I'm fine with Lyra being the first. I think it does more for her to win this than it does for Dakota. Boy, oh boy, the reaction I saw on Twitter and on YouTube.
The Dakota fans were not pleased.
A lot of salty Dakota fans. Oh my god. Relax. That's the good thing about this title, is that now this gives something for Dakota to chase. And eventually, she'll probably win it. Eventually, I would think. Be patient. I think it does more for Lyra than it does Dakota right now.
JJ?
Very fun match. Like, very fun for the time that it went. For anybody, for like I get it though. I get it though for the people that was not like happy with Dakota not winning, that she's been with the brand for how long now? Like, she's been there like 7 years and still hasn't got that moment yet. And this kind of, to a lot of people, should have been it. But Lyra has aura, man. Like that, like she's got something about her that is special. She's got something about her that she is a special child in the women's division. Like she's you can't take it away from her, but unfortunately it was at the expense of somebody that has been there and has grinded for such a long period of time. But Lyra's special, man. Lyra's great. Like it fits her. This position fits her. She got the crowd behind her. She's got a fucking killer entrance. She's good in the ring. Really good. She's like the perfect person to represent the women's mid-card division. And unfortunately, it was at the expense of Dakota Kai. So it was like you said, as you were reading the monologues of this match, is that one person had to win this match. One person. And to me, I think Lyra was the right call, but I definitely understand the frustration for not getting Dakota Kai her first big moment.
Yeah. Definitely agreed there. We did get during the ad break for us in the US, the one promo that I wanted to bring up was the New Day. During a commercial break, they were pissed at Rey Mysterio, and Kofi Kingston said that Rey Mysterio is a deadbeat father who didn't raise his kid right, while he is a good son, and his mother still won't even talk to him. Xavier Woods says that they would return to action next week, and Kingston told everyone to be careful what they wish for. Kelly wanted to ask a follow-up, but they told her they were out of time, turning it back on her. So it was made official. It will be the New Day returning to action next week. I'm hoping, though, they pick this shit up, because they have dragged this shit a long time without any progression. It's been 6 weeks since their heel turn. That's a little too long.
Hopefully they make it important. Like, hopefully they make it pay off, because this has been a week-to-week occurrence where they're not even fucking with anybody right now. They don't even have like a purpose right now. They're just relying so much on just heat from the crowd. But even you could tell, like, even the crowd is kind of getting like tired of it. And it's just it's not as nowhere near as nuclear as it was in the prior weeks, because it's like, all right, fucking do something already. Like, fucking do something. Like, it's been almost 2 months, bro.
Like, yeah, they're living up to the gimmick, because that's now 2 weeks in a row I haven't seen the New Day segment because of commercials. So get to it next week. It's time.
Yeah. They got to pull the trigger, because this is feeling eerily similar to the Chad Gable Alpha Academy story right now.
And if it's setting up to something in the Rumble,
it's really hot. It's really hot right now. But if y'all don't pull the trigger, you're gonna miss the peak.
And they had way too much nuclear heat to fucking miss the boat on this. Way too much of it.
Yeah. Sami Zayn versus The Miz is next. Oh damn, it's over already. They had a very basic matchup. Sami hits a luva kick in the corner on Miz, and then he follows up and actually gets a win with the Blue Thunder Bomb.
That's crazy.
Michael Cole on commentary says, folks, Sami Zayn just got a win with the Blue Thunder Bomb. Like, it is the most groundbreaking announcement ever, because this man never wins with his signature move. But he did here. I agree. It was a good combination of moves. He should probably win more matches with that combo.
I like it that way. The haluva kick and then the Blue Thunder Bomb. I liked it. It flowed nicely. But like, if anybody, I don't think it's Miz, because I think Miz is a team player. But if anybody in this match, not named The Miz, was complaining about their match time for this, I don't care. I don't care. Let Penta talk and go as long as he wants. I don't need more minutes for Sami Zayn and The Miz. Nobody does.
What Romeo said.
Next, we had Rhea Ripley. Rhea Bloody Ripley. I was like, oh, yeah, you did win the title back last week. Because I know we got a whole video package for last week's Raw, but like, they did not make this like a big deal of the show at all. What happened last week? Rhea entered to a big reaction as per usual. She declared that mommy is back on top. She knew she sounded like a broken record to some, but she wanted to remind those who forgot that she was Rhea Bloody Ripley. She was one of the most dominant women in WWE, and she was once again the women's world champion. I think that she misspoke by saying one of. She should have just said she's the most dominant woman. Nia Jax interrupts. The SmackDown star, former WWE Women's Champion, she gets booed out the building, loudly booed by the fans. She informs us that she would win the Rumble and would take whatever title she wanted. Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley might think they're on top, but Jax was the only woman on top of the division. Jax even had a few words for Bayley, who was here in the crowd. She says, of course you would be from this dumb city. This led to Bayley jumping the barricade and entering the ring. She confronted Jax and said that this wasn't her show, but this was her city. She called Jax a big old dumb idiot after she called her BBL Bayley, saying that she doesn't have any new material. Jax shoved her down. Rhea Ripley headbutted Nia, but Nia headbutted her back. Bayley chop blocked her and kicked her in the face. Rhea Ripley followed up with a big kick to the face, and then both women dumped Nia to the floor. Bayley was about to grab Rhea Ripley's title belt, but Rhea came and grabbed it herself. They hugged, but Bayley kept staring at the WWE Women's World Championship, alluding that she would want to crack at Rhea's title. So this was lame. This was the worst part of the show. This was like, okay, you did remind us that there's a women's Royal Rumble too. Nice of you to remember that, WWE. But the fact that we have every top star in the company in the men's Royal Rumble match, and you can only be bothered to announce one person for the women's Royal Rumble, does not tell me that you care about it as much as the men's. Just saying.
Be patient. Be patient.
JJ?
SP3.
I hated this. I hated this segment. Nia Jax was the best thing about this whole segment.
She was good.
I was like, all right, get on to some substance, Rhea. Like, and this was one of the rare times that I give, and I don't give, I love me some, like, Rhea Ripley is one of my favorites in the company. But this was just as vanilla as you're gonna get. Yeah. This was bad. Thank God for Nia, because Nia actually made this something. Like, the crowd looked like they were yearning for something to react to when Rhea was talking, and Nia gave them the perfect formula to do it. Her annoying ass voice, her entrance that no one fucking likes. Nia was the perfect ingredient for this bad segment. Like, Nia was the best thing about this, and you ain't even. I'll go argue with your mama if you think anybody was fucking better than Nia in this segment.
And I would argue she wasn't great.
No.
she just skipped over a bar that was at the center of the earth because Rhea Ripley had nothing to talk about. Bailey came off like a cornball and like a chump because Nia just fucking punched her in the face when she got in her face. Yeah, Nia came off the best. I will give you that.
No, this segment sucked. This whole segment sucked. But Nia actually made it like it wasn't like the worst thing that I've seen in like 5 fucking years or some shit. Like this was just rough. This was rough. And I'm just glad that Nia gave the people something to react to.
I agree. I enjoyed Nia in the segment, but I think this was a waste of like Bailey in her hometown. Like she should have done something more relevant in her hometown. She should have at least had a match. But for what it's setting up, I do like the idea of eventually Bailey and Rhea. That's a match that has not been. That's a program that has not been oversaturated at all. That they could go to and should be good. Should deliver.
Agreed there. They went over the announced matches and things for next week. New Day return to action. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. And he's adding it to the list. TNA, AAA, GCW, MLW. And now he makes his return to WWE Hall of Famer, JBL.
In Dallas, Texas.
Cares?
Hey, he's gonna be in Dallas because he's gonna be at Genesis on Sunday, so he's gonna still be in Dallas.
Oh, that's the connection.
Like,
what is he?
They made this shit an announcement. They made this shit an announcement.
I gotta see what he does. I gotta see.
Like, who gives a fuck?
What is he gonna do? It can't be worse than Hogan. Give him that.
We got a video package for tonight's main event, going over everything that's went down since SummerSlam. And then we have our main event, Damian Priest going up against Finn Balor. Damian enters first with a kendo stick. Balor's music hits, but he attacks Damian from behind with the kendo stick. The ref saw this coming and called for the match to start, even though Priest was about to get attacked. That's ridiculous. Priest fought him back. They battled near the announce table. We get the "We Want Tables" chant. Priest grabbed the table from under the ring, but Balor attacked him, and they fought through the crowd. Balor hit Priest with a trash can, but Priest fought back and hit him hard over the head with the trash can. Then we get a great spot as Priest and Balor are fighting in the stands, and then Priest hits a broken arrow, a falcon arrow out of the stands into equipment boxes and through a table. Just ridiculous. Some 10 rows up. That was a sick bump. Picture. Yes. Officials checked on both men as they went to break. The crowd's applause turned to boos as they brought a stretcher out and put Balor on the stretcher. They thought that the match might be thrown out as medics put a soft brace around Balor's neck. Carlito and JD McDonough, as well as Adam Pearce, were all down to check on Balor. After the commercial break, though, Priest ran out of the ring. He attacked Carlito and McDonough. He hammered away at a helpless Balor. He threw the stretcher down the aisle. It hit into the apron, and Balor rolled into the ring. Perfect timing on that. Priest beat him down some more until McDonough and Carlito then attacked Priest to help their friend. McDonough gave Priest a moonsault. Balor followed up with a coup de grace, but only got a 2 count. Carlito and McDonough set up tables on the outside, so we had 2 tables at ringside, but the War Raiders came down and took care of them. Balor hit a sling blade while still being in the neck brace and still selling his neck. Balor hit Priest repeatedly with a steel chair. He looked for redemption and then eventually tried to put the chair around his neck while sitting him in the other chair and tried to hit a shotgun dropkick, but Priest caught him and hit basically like a boss man slam south of heaven for a near fall. Priest tried a razor's edge through the table, but Balor reversed and eventually gets Priest on the table and hits a coup de grace off the apron through the table. Priest is able to respond by driving Balor through the barricade with a big spear. Priest follows up by delivering the razor's edge through the other table on Balor on the outside. And then he finally finishes off his brother by telling him, I am not my brother's keeper, and delivering a South of Heaven chokeslam in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Damian Priest defeats Finn Balor to end this rivalry. Really good matchup. A lot of energy. This was a fun matchup that used the stipulation well. We got the crowd brawling. We got the big spot from the stands. Had a lot of weapon use. Had the Judgment Day, War Raiders out. This checked all the boxes on what it needed to deliver and a strong way to close this show. JJ, what did you think?
It was good. It was good. It was nice to see because I am personally very, very sick of this pairing. Like I'm
hoping this is the blow up.
I'm beyond sick of this pairing. This is the group that should have got moved to SmackDown. But this was a good match. This was a good match. It over delivered to me basically because I wasn't expecting shit out of this. So it gave me more than I anticipated. So I'll give it credit for that. I'm just praying that this is the end because I am so over this. I am so over these two. Like, Damian needs to move the fuck on. Finn Balor needs to hate someone else. Like, I'm so over this. I am so over this. But it was a good match.
Romeo?
Yeah, for me, this was really enjoyable. A good blow off. Priest, the story called for Priest needed to go over. The way Finn's been an asshole, this whole storyline, Priest needed to have the final win, the final revenge. But it's just too bad because, Balor's the one that really needs the wins, but the story called for Priest to win this, and it should be over. I'd be perfectly fine, even though it means I'd lose Liv Morgan, with a Judgment Day bloodline trade through the transfer portal. I'd be perfectly fine with that. It'd freshen up for both groups. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. Now, SB3, you had predicted that this would be the WrestleMania match. Do you still feel that way, or no?
No.
Okay.
No, they finally smartened up. They finally heard me telling them that this shit is done. This shit been done since Bash in Berlin.
Like Priest, like the way he is now, he should be in line for a shot at Gunther. It doesn't feel like Jey Uso. It should be Priest. But we'll see.
I mean, they're just wasting Jey Uso on.
Yeah. I expect Priest to be in the Rumble. That would be good for him to interact with all those top stars. So
yeah. See what reactions they get.
Yeah, maybe we get a Priest and Malachi Black.
How about Balor eliminates Priest and the feud continues to?
Oh God, please no. But we shall see.
There was a comment earlier about Black. I don't know if you saw it. I want to put it on screen if I can find it.
You can find it
here.
But we do have a we have a super chat donation here too. Sorry. From Will Chisholm. Thank you so much, Will. He says Triple H said y'all go to SmackDown talking about the Wyatt Six, and Malachi is coming back. I want him on Netflix doing the dark stuff.
That was the comment. Yeah, there you go. And you know what? It makes sense.
So I only got room for one dark act on this show, so we'll take Penta and we'll take Malachi Black.
You don't think Malachi's gonna have like he could work immediately, or what do you think?
Well, he should be free up in February or March.
Oh.
So it's an expiration. It's a contract expiration. It's not a release. So he should be able to work immediately.
Do you think we got the old Aleister Black theme?
I would hope so. That theme was epic.
Yeah, that was literally amazing. His entrance also was amazing. So
yes, bring it all back.
Yeah.
But let's wrap things up on this episode of Monday Night Raw. Let us know in the live chat. We'll final call for super chat donations, of course. Thank you so much for all the super chat donations today. But let us know your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? For me, JJ, and Romeo in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from all of us. Look at that. Look at how sweet it is when we all are on the same page. JJ, out of 10, what did you give last night's show?
I'm gonna give this show an 8. I'll give it an 8. Much more to look forward to after this episode. A much better episode of wrestling. So this is the episode you kind of would hope to get on a more weekly basis instead of the dick on the table episodes where you just show all your star power. They probably do that for like a 1-year anniversary show or some shit. So if they have a show on January 5th or 6th, the 1-year anniversary of Netflix, expect the dick on the table episode. So just saying, it's gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again with all the bells and whistles and shit, and probably they'll get Stone Cold to actually just agree to it and just say fuck it and just waste another 5 minutes of your time. But until then, we hopefully will get some good wrestling. The crowds for Raw has been really good so far, so I really enjoyed that too. But yeah, give it a solid 8.
Romeo?
8.2. Strong episode. The Penta stuff is going to be very memorable. His debut. The main event delivered. Some good promos. And the best part, 2.5 hours long. Love it.
Yes. 2.5 hours long. No fucking ridiculousness of... Basically, last week's show was a wrestling show that was ashamed to be a wrestling show. This week's show was a wrestling show that was a wrestling show. 8.5 out of 10. Yes. 2 points higher than my 6.5 that I gave it last week. 8.5 out of 10. So I'll be the high man this week. MVP for the show, Penta, Romeo.
Penta, Lyra, Damian.
JJ?
Yeah, I would say honorable mention for me for Lyra. But yeah, Penta is going to be the highlight for me that I remember from this for months on end.
Match of the night, I am going to give it to Lyra versus Dakota. JJ.
If it wasn't for that slow start, I would have given it to Penta and Chad. But I do agree that quick little 9-minute match for the women's championship was spectacular. Finn and Priest was really good, but again, don't care. I'm gonna go with Lyra and Dakota as well.
Romeo.
I'll go with Penta and Gable.
And LVP for the show, I am going to give it to there's a few things I didn't like, but not more than that one segment. So unfortunately I'm gonna have to give it to Rhea Ripley because they just made her go out there with nothing to say. Romeo.
I got a few LVPs. First, The Miz, who lost in quick fashion. This guy wasn't even on the show, but he's really jeopardizing his job security, Corey Graves. And definitely whoever backstage had the audacity to complain about shit getting cut when this was Penta's biggest moment of his life. Whoever was complaining, you're an LVP. I don't know who that was. I don't know who that is.
That was reported by PW Insider last night that someone was upset with Penta going over his allotted time.
Yeah, whatever. Especially, and you know what? And Triple H has said timing won't be an issue with this Netflix thing. If that's the case, just do whatever you want. But he wanted to be out of there at 2.5 hours. Whatever.
No.
Tough shit. Whoever's mad about that.
JJ.
I think it's be the first time this ever happened for me ever talking about LVPs. It's got to be Rhea Ripley. This was rough. This was so rough. She's usually never the worst part of any show.
Yeah.
And this was it. This was it. Sorry. Not sorry.
No, I don't wish that Liv was still champ because Liv's gotten LVPs as well. This is a rare case for Rhea.
This is the first. Liv got it multiple times.
Liv lived there at one point of her reign. But that brings us to a close on another.
I'm sorry. Wyatt 6 also honorable mention.
That brings us to a close on another edition of Rated Raw Review. I want to thank you all for joining us live. If you haven't already, drop the thumbs up on the video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you are new. JJ, thank you once again for joining us this week. Let everybody know where they can follow you, sir.
Instagram, you can find me at TrueHill_Top Guy JJ, and on YouTube here with the guys. I don't know. I think my schedule. I'm off next week on the same day. So
let's do it again.
might run it back. So might be back here with the guys. Hopefully, it's for another good episode of Raw. But yeah, I'm pretty sure one of these weeks I'm gonna join a stinker and we're just gonna dunk all over it. But it wasn't this week, so
it was last week. Y'all didn't take the opportunity.
It wasn't. Listen to it was a different show. Oh my God, this guy. Last week was dick on the table. This week was wrestling.
Romeo
Damas, all social media.
And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSB3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat, Patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best place to support us when we are not live here. I will be back live tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, with our TNA Genesis preview. I'll be joined by Fightful's Joe Pearl, so join us for that one. But until then, for Romeo, for Top Guy JJ, it is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been Rated Raw Review, episode 50, Penta, New Era. We are signing off until next time.
If Joe Hendry